You spend thousands of hours studying, but by tomorrow, nearly 70% of it is gone. And that's super frustrating, right? So here's the truth. It's not your fault. It's your brain that is wiring out and it's clearing unused information. And then meanwhile, in Japan, students memorize over 2,000 kanji characters and remember them for life. I might hear you think, what's their secret? Your teacher probably never told you this, but the reason that you forget isn't because you lack effort. It's the methods that you've been using. Rereading and highlighting might feel productive, but your brain actually treats them like a background task. It's like an ad that you scroll past without even noticing. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you stayed up late highlighting page after page only to go blank on the exam? That's not on you. That is basically neuroscience, because there's something that we call the forgetting curve. Within 24 hours, your brain almost drops about 60 or 70% of what you've learned. And by day 3, only scraps remain, around 80%. Here's the good news. You can hack your brain to beat this forgetting curve, for example. Japanese students have been doing it for centuries, and not by studying harder, but by studying smarter. You don't need hundreds of research papers or science-backed methods. I've done all of that work for you, and today I will break down 5 science-backed hacks that can completely change the way that you study. My name is Tom Vosselen, also known as the Study Coach, and I help students and working professionals with science-backed learning, time management, and mindset methods, so you can reach your goals without sacrificing your mental and physical health. The first method that we want to discuss is something that we call active recalling, what I like to call the samurai training for memory. Most students focus on the input, rereading, watching lectures, highlighting things, but memory doesn't strengthen from input, it strengthens from output by forcing yourself to retrieve what you've learned. Think of it as like training in the gym. Muscles don't grow by looking at the weights. They grow when you actually start lifting the weights, and your brain works the same way. So here's how you can do it. After you've studied or went to a class, you close your book and you grab a blank page and you write down everything that you remember about the topic. At first, this might feel hard, maybe even frustrating, but that struggle is the very thing that makes your memory stronger. For example, a medical student might write down the side effect of beta blockers by heart, what they can remember. And an engineering student might explain the difference between stress and strain. And if you're taking a professional course, you might summarize yesterday's module in your own words. Every time that you do this, those mental connections are getting stronger. The second method is something that we call the Kumon approach, which is all about small but powerful steps. Instead of overwhelming yourself with massive study sessions, you want to break down the topics into tiny chunks that you can finish in like 10 minutes or less. So one day you learn a single disease and its treatment, and the next day you learn a formula and how to apply it. Or if you're working full-time, you study one core concept from your evening course and how does it work in real life. Now, these bite-sized wins eventually start creating confidence. They keep you consistent and they stop you from actually cramming. It's like compound interest. Small gains that add up fast over time. The third method is one of my favorites. It's called spaced repetition, and I like to call it gardening for the brain. So imagine your memory like this plant. If you water it too much, it drowns, and if you ignore it, it will dry out and it would die. So the key is watering just before it starts to fade and starts to go bad. And here's how it works. So with studying, you review a topic right after learning it. Then again the next day, then a few days later, and a week later, and then 2 weeks later, for example. And each time the memory lasts longer and grows stronger. Now, you can do this with sticky notes on a wall, you can do this in your calendar, or you can use apps like Anki that have integrated spaced repetition. The important part here is the timing. Reviewing it too soon is wasted effort, and reviewing too late means probably that you've already again forgotten the information, which is unfortunate. Keep each review short, and if it starts to take too long, you're not reviewing anymore, you're relearning, and we want to avoid that. The fourth method is Kaizen principle, which means continuous improvement. It's the idea of getting just 1% better each day. You might have seen this across Instagram everywhere. And it doesn't need hours of work. In fact, you can do it in as little as 6 to 10 minutes. Maybe 2 minutes of active recalling from what you studied that day. Maybe 2 minutes of spaced repetition of things that you studied yesterday or the day before. And maybe a couple of minutes of focused practice on one of your practice problems. If you do this daily, then you'll be so much more sharp in a month. And there's no burnout, there's no cramming, there's just steady work and steady mastery. The fifth and final method is all about your focus. And in Japan, students use simple rituals to signal to the brain that it's time to work. It could be as small as sitting in the same place. So sitting at the same desk in the same area, using the same pen, or lighting a candle before you start. These rituals are actually teaching your brain or signaling to the brain like, hey, this moment matters, so you have to start paying attention as of now. And you can do the same. So you choose a quiet space, you remove distractions, and you repeat the same starting ritual every session that you're going to do focused work. And your brain will begin to enter focus mode more automatically and making it easier for you to concentrate and remember. So let's put this all together. You've got 5 hacks. You've got active recall, retrieving information. We have the small steps. We have spaced repetition, the gardening for the brain. We have the Kaizen principle, and we have the focus rituals. You don't need to use all 5 at once. Even one will already help you break the forgetting curve. Now, the key part, again, is here to start small, stay consistent, and eventually let the results compound over time. Here's your challenge for today. Pick one method and try it for 15 minutes. Don't wait for the perfect moment. I want you to just start. And if you're ready to go deeper with active recalling templates, spaced repetition tools, and weekly coaching, then join the Study Coach University. You can try it out 7 days for free. The link is in the description. And that's where we build the full system together. If you enjoyed this video and you're looking for more science-backed study and time management tips, make sure to subscribe and check out the next video. See you soon.